Hey, Dr. Brett here. I'm back with my wife, Chanakan. Hey, babes.
Hey everyone, how are you?
Good, I'm doing good. We're on our way to San Diego, right? I'm excited. In 2 minutes.
Yes, after we finish record video, we go to San Diego. But first of all, I just listen to one of the channel and I just record video in Thai. It's talk about 11 scientifically proof that guys like women, and one of that is about curve. Is it real?
Curves? Like women, men like curves?
Yes.
You mean like boobs and ass?
Like
like that?
curve, like small
Yeah,
waist.
of course. Why not? To my Jamila.
Is it
Why not
necessary?
in Thai?
Because it's like scientifically research.
Oh, you mean it's like genetic, meaning like, in other words, that like
the people do research, and one of that is curve.
well, I mean, if you think about it from a genetic or an evolutionary biological perspective, right, then survival of the species propagating genes, like when women have hips, they're more childbearing, right? So like women that are that are faster runners tend to have narrower hips. Women that are hippier, right, it's more associated with having families and having children, right? Because it's easier over, if you think about thousands of years of childbirth, right? The women that have wider hips or whatever are gonna have an easier time giving childbirth than like a really narrow hipped woman. So there's a biological reason for that, for the like sort of unconscious desire for a woman that's hippier.
Not about
or
superficial.
curvier. Well, it could be superficial too. I mean, it's probably a little bit of both, right? I mean, sometimes we have these sort of like innate drives, like for sex and aggression. Like remember Freud, like sex and survival and food and so on, right? And sometimes some of those drives are running us without our full awareness. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Because like this is one of the thing that from the research that guy like in women. And one of that is like because it's like for women, if you behave or you have that quality, you will attract guy. And one of that is about like adjust the hair. Like if you like someone and if you make your hair or your beard like subconscious or unconscious.
Well, some women like men on the converse, right? Some the opposite, right? Some women like men that are strong, right, or perceived as strong. Those men over thousands of years were going to be more likely in the past, right, to be able to protect you as a woman, to protect your family and so on. So nowadays, like, women are drawn to males that are powerful or strong or financially successful, in part because that has to do with survival value, right? It's not always conscious. So what we want to do in psychology, we want to get aware, right, of who we're choosing and why we're choosing a partner. And we want to, my bias is to wait a little bit later in life, to not necessarily choose in your early 20s, because you're more instinctually driven then. And as you get older, you're more self-aware and you're more likely to choose somebody that is a better fit over a lifetime than somebody that you're choosing when you're younger, and you're less self-aware and you're more likely to be choosing for survival value, so to speak. The strong male, the alpha male, the financially successful male that 10, 20 years later doesn't really have intimacy skills, right? The ideal scenario would be somebody that's capable of both, right? They're capable of being strong, but they're capable of being vulnerable. That's a doable male, but usually not in your 20s, right? 20s is about hunting, so to speak, right? Hunting the metaphor of, being able to provide for your family, meaning gathering resources, making money. And as a woman, right, then women are attracted to that male, but at the same time, 10 years later, they might be, turned off because that male could be one-dimensional. Does that make sense? Any questions?
Yeah, and the last one is talk about the same education, not education, but like wisdom. Smart guy attract smart guy attract smart woman. Dumpy or insecure guy attract dumb insecure woman. Is it true?
Well, I mean, there's something to be said for like attracts like. I think that, I think it's worth, we talk a lot about like working on who you are and becoming smarter over time, working on personal growth, right? Choosing somebody that is growth oriented versus sort of stagnant, somebody that's not interested in becoming smarter or, becoming more self-aware or doing personal growth. That person might be a great athlete or a good provider or whatever they are. But again, 10 years later, you're probably going to have a real problem if they're not growing and you are. So I think intelligence can be measured in different ways, right? There's this thing called emotional intelligence, right? Your judgment, your decision making, your self-awareness, your ability to have empathy and understanding and patience. That's part of emotional intelligence. So yes, I think it's important to like work on yourself, and then when you work on yourself, you're more likely to choose somebody who is a better match for you, a more equal match for you. Awesome.
Okay.
I'm Dr. Brett.
I'm Snagan.